Hi everybody, it's Kerrie here at the North East Autism Society and I am joined by Toni.
Hello.
And David.
Hello.
From the Life Science Centre, and today we are going to be doing a food experiment. So we're going to be tasting some different flavours, and this was requested by Josh, who wanted to do some science with food.
Yeah, so thank you very much for this idea, Josh. I thought we could do a tasty experiment that actually helps us understand how science works. So what do you use to taste with? What part of your body do you use?
Your mouth?
Yeah, a tongue. Taste with your tongue. No. Taste with your tongue. Lovely. And there are 5 main flavours that we can taste. There's sweet, salty, sour, bitter, and then there's a taste called umami, which is a savoury taste that you get in a lot of Japanese and Chinese foods. So that's the 5th flavour. And we can taste these with the taste buds on our tongues. And there's a map that you might have seen. So you might have seen it in a school textbook or perhaps on the internet. You see it around a lot. And it suggests that the tip of your tongue is where you taste sweet. Salty and sour are down the sides, and then bitter is tasted right at the back of your tongue. Now, as good scientists, we like to look forward and look for new discoveries, but we also like to look back and double check the things we think are true are definitely correct and that no one's made a mistake. So what I thought we could do today is test to see if this map is right. So we'll need 5 things that we'll be able to get those different flavours from. So first of all, has anyone got anything sweet?
I've got some honey.
Lovely, honey, that's great, very sweet.
And I've got some sugar and water.
Great, that's what I've done as well. So I've got some sugary water too in this little jar. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take one of my cotton buds, dip it in my sugary water, and then test it on my tongue. I'm going to see if I can taste the sweet taste on the tip of my tongue. Do you want to do it with me as well? Yeah, nice and sweet. So it seems like the tongue map is correct. We can taste it at the tip of our tongue. But can we taste it anywhere else on our tongue? What about the sides or the back or in the middle?
Yeah, I can taste it on the sides of my tongue.
That's it. Be careful putting it to the back of your mouth as well, not too far back.
I can taste it everywhere, to be honest.
Ah.
Yeah, I can a little bit.
I've not used a cotton bud. I've used a spoon. Is that all right?
Yeah, a spoon's fine. Just something that can help you dab it into different parts of your tongue. So I think I can taste it everywhere on my tongue. David thinks he can taste it everywhere on his tongue. And how about you, Kerrie?
Me too. I could taste it quite a bit on the side of my tongue as well.
So I think it's worth having a little drink of water to get rid of the sweet taste from our mouths and moving on to try a different one. So make sure you rinse your spoon or use a clean spoon or clean cotton bud, and we'll try something else. Has anyone got anything salty? Salt water.
Salt water.
Yeah, salty water.
Let's do the same for salt. So it said that we should only be able to taste the salt at the sides, but let's see if we can taste it in other places on your tongue. Give it a try.
Yeah, I can taste it on the tip of my tongue.
Ah. Me too.
Toni, I can taste it everywhere again.
Me too.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Oh. I feel like I've been swimming in the sea and I've been drinking the water from the sink.
Yeah, you only use a little bit of salt in this one, don't you, Toni? That's important.
Yeah. I'd put maybe a teaspoon of salt into my water and mix it around, but I've only eaten a tiny bit of it. So
yeah, just a little bit.
I've put a lot less salt in that, and I could still taste it, no problem. So I didn't put as much salt as a teaspoon in, just a wee drop I put in, and that was fine.
And that's fine too. Oh, there we go. So how about we test something sour? Has anyone got anything they think is sour that they can test?
I've got lemon.
Lemon, great. That's what I did as well. I squeezed the juice out of my lemon.
I've got one of these lemon pre-made ones that you get that's got lemon juice in it. A Jif
Great.
lemon. So,
and you might have other at home if you haven't got lemons, don't worry, like other citrus fruits like limes can be quite sour as well. Have an experiment with other things you could taste.
Yeah, that's very sour.
Is it sour just at the side of your tongue or all over?
All over.
All over.
yeah.
Yeah.
All
Definitely.
over again. Me too. Oh, it's not looking good for this map. Okay, how about now something that is bitter? This is a tricky one. It's easy to get sour and bitter confused.
So I've got some cocoa powder with mixed with a little bit of water.
Okay, yeah, that'll be nice and bitter. So dark chocolate especially is nice and bitter. I've got some grapefruit juice, which is a bit sour and a bit bitter. Usually citrus fruits, if it's got any of the peel in it, tastes more bitter.
I've got some dark chocolate, so I'm just going to try a bit of chocolate.
Oh,
that's a nice part of the experiment, Davy.
I'll tell you how it tastes.
My cocoa powder doesn't taste very nice. It's very bitter.
Nice. Very bitter.
But you can taste it all around your mouth, though. Not.
Yeah, can taste it everywhere. Are you enjoying that, Davy?
I am. I'm going to save it for later, though, and I'll tell you how it tastes later on.
Okay, so bitter taste all over your tongue as well.
Mm-hmm.
I can even taste some of it as I start to swallow as well. There are some taste buds further back in your mouth as well that you can taste with. So the last one we've got to taste is the umami. So I've got some soy sauce here. That's quite a good sauce. If you haven't got soy sauce, you could try tomatoes with some salt sprinkled on them. That'll give you an umami taste as well. Or maybe some bacon.
Yeah, I've got soy sauce too.
I wasn't sure what to bring for this, so I've actually brought some chili. Does that count, or is that something different?
I don't think that has as much of the umami taste, but it is interesting. So I think we should taste that one in a minute as well. But should Kerrie and I quickly try the umami and see where we can taste that? It wasn't even on my tongue map at the beginning because the umami taste was discovered much later by a Japanese scientist.
I can taste that everywhere, Toni.
Me too. Yeah.
Now I quite like that salty taste, but you don't want to be that kind of bitter taste. No, that one's not bitter. That one is
umami. Yeah.
Umami.
So I
quite like that taste.
It's hard for us to describe because we didn't have a word for it in English. That's why we've adopted the Japanese word umami, because we don't have a lot of foods that have that flavor, whereas in Eastern Asia they have a lot more of that in their cooking. So we've covered all of these. I think it's also worth perhaps trying David's chili. So that wasn't one of the tastes I mentioned, but you can maybe have a try and describe the taste to us, David.
Oh, I've just put that on the tip of my tongue. That stings straight away, and it feels like it's burning.
Oh, feels like it's burning. So our taste buds on our tongue detect different flavors, but there's also a way that they can detect how spicy, how hot something is as well. So don't feel that you have to eat all of that, David, because for some people it's
I'm not eating it. I'm just touching it, and I can feel like it feels like it's heating up, and it kind of feels like the flavour spread. So when I touched the tip of my tongue at first, it really was just a tip, but it now feels like the whole part of the front of my tongue is tasting it. I only tried a bit of the back though, just
devoted to the science there.
I can definitely confirm that you can taste it all around your mouth.
Thank
I'm going to have a drink of water, thanks.
Please do. Sometimes people drink milk when they've had really spicy food as well, because that helps calm the effect even more than water does. But if you've got water, that's a good idea to start with. Yeah. Great. So if we go back to thinking about our tongue map, what can we conclude? Where could we taste the different flavours on our tongues?
All over.
Yeah, I could taste them all over, Toni, so that means, doesn't it, that the food map isn't actually accurate?
No, it's not. So even though it was shared in textbooks and on the internet and even taught in schools for a long time, when scientists thought to go back and check, they realized it wasn't right. And this happens sometimes. And it's not that the scientists are trying to fool you. They thought it was right at the time. But sometimes mistakes happen. And so you have to be very careful about what you read. And it's not always true. And one of the ways that they try and avoid these problems happening is to show their work to other scientists, and we call that peer review. Other scientists look at it and they ask questions, and if there's any bits they don't think are right, they send it back to the original scientist to do the corrections, a bit like if you get corrections on your homework at school. And then once a few different people have checked it and agree on it, we can be more confident that it's correct. So then they release the science to everyone in the world, and that's when we hear all the news stories about it. So we can be more confident that something's been checked by lots of scientists. It's more likely to be right. So as I mentioned, it's good if you can have lots of scientists check this. So perhaps if some of the young people wanted to check this tongue map as well, because we're only 3 people, and really we'd want lots of people to check it and see if they think it's correct.
Yeah, I think that would be a really good idea, Toni.
Yeah. Can I just say, of all the things I tried, the chili was obviously the strongest, but I'd suggest for the young people, if they're going to try the chili, is they just touch it on their tongue, as opposed to putting like a lump of it in your tongue, because it is really quite strong. You just touch it around the side,
Yeah, if you're not used to it, it can be really strong, so just try a little bit at a time.
Yeah.
Well, I love that experiment, that activity. I think if our young people try it, if they can send us photos and videos and let us know how you get on and see if we can debunk some of those ideas about the tongue map, that'd be brilliant. Yeah, so send them in and we shall see you all very soon. Bye, everybody.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.